Hello Pisces, welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Pisces is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider hitting the subscribe button, especially if this reading resonates with you. These readings are totally free. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Pisces, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And you've got this devil energy right now. This is a really, really good card, okay? This is a card of hard work and ambition. This is the card that says we are climbing up the mountain. We are motivated. We are driven, right? There's an energy here. You put this goat in front of any mountain, it's going to climb it, right? You put any ladder, and it's going to climb to the top of that ladder. This is really a power. This is an engine inside of us. An engine toward manifestation, right? The only thing about the devil energy is that we have to ask, what is the motivation here? Why are we climbing this particular ladder and not a different ladder? Why am I in front of this mountain and not a different mountain? We don't want to get to the top of the ladder and think, whoops, I put it against the wrong building. Or get to the top of the mountain and think, well, this wasn't it. So what is our motivation? What are we trying to create? Are we motivated by this generative drive that we're trying to manifest something that is affecting the world beyond me and my ego interests? Or am I motivated by pleasure? Am I driven by aggression and pleasure and competition? Or am I driven by this desire to create something that's bigger than me? Something that extends outside beyond just my little sphere of life, right? So I feel like we're trying to manifest through purpose, that we have to, we've got to know why we're doing what we're doing. Let's put this card into a little bit of context. How are we guiding this goat? Well, we've got an Emperor energy. That's really nice. That's very powerful. We've got an Ace of Pentacles, a Three of Cups, a Seven of Swords, and a Five of Pentacles. I think you're being driven by a deeper desire, okay? A soul yearning here. This Three of Cups, I think, is really the fuel that's saying this goat wants to create something that is beyond just the pleasure and pain, all right? It's a three. It's a more pure form of this sort of love and connection, appreciation for the world, right? It extends beyond your human personality. The aces, the twos, and the threes are in the divine realm, right? Here we have a Ten of Cups. Very nice. We've got a Prince of Swords, a Three of Swords, and the Princess of Pentacles. Now, the Princess of Pentacles represents the sort of the mountain itself, right? Represents that thing, that activity, that potential that we're trying to create, right? We're trying to bring about the fulfillment of the Princess of Pentacles. We're trying to get that Empress energy, right? Trying to get that Ten of Pentacles. This is in the physical world. This is what we're looking at, and we're thinking, that's where I'm going to put the garden. Okay. And right now it may not look like much. We may realize that this is, there's no garden already here. It's something that we have to apply our energy to, and we have to do the work to create that beautiful life. Our manifestation requires our hard work, requires our endurance, our stamina, requires our engine, but also a very good pilot, right? The ego needs to be strong and fortified so that we can bring about the fulfillment of this potential. Okay? I think that you're trusting in the intuition here. Okay? This is the driving force. You're trusting in your intuition, not necessarily trusting the ego's perceptions of things, right? Because in the future position, we've got the Five of Pentacles. And this is the challenge. This is the worry. This is like things are not, this is tough. The things are all over the place, right? My life is in disarray. Things are in disorderly, in a disordered state, right? There's so much movement going around. Everything's like up in the air. Yeah. And we're saying, that's okay. We're trusting in that intuition. We know that we have to go through the difficult stuff to get to manifest what we're aiming for here. Okay. Let's select a mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. Whoa. Confirmation card. Got a couple volunteers. We're going to put a mystery card over here. We'll have these two cards up here as extras. What do we have? Oh, another 10 of Cups. Look at that. Another 10 of Cups and a 2 of Pentacles. Okay, and I think these cards are very appropriate as well. Now that mystery card, we're going to put Bubo on top. That card's not going to go anywhere till the end, all right? And hopefully it'll tie everything together and give us the confirmation that we need, but we'll see. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. I like that we have the 2 of Pentacles, because the 2 of Pentacles is how we handle change, how we handle the ups and downs of life, how we handle the 5 of Pentacles, basically, right? This is us stabilizing ourselves, using the ballasts, right? Balancing ourselves when life starts to get a little bit too chaotic, shaky, when it feels like it's destabilizing. This is how we maintain balance, okay? That we try to compensate through these so we can get through the tough parts. Because we have to be willing to climb the mountain if we're ever going to get to the top, right? And getting to the top is sort of like we're... the garden's growing, right? We're getting the complete satisfaction. We have a double 10 of Cups here. I think that's really, really awesome. So let's put the 2 over here with our 5 of Pentacles. But we're trusting in the dream. We're making the wish. We're trusting our intuition. We're going through the challenges of this. We're going through the upset, the worry, the difficulties, right? All the changes that are taking place in front of you, in order to get the absolute fulfillment of this dream life, what we're manifesting, right? So we've got two major arcana energies. We don't have any overt fire, but I think there's enough fire right here with our Capricorn and our Aries energies, especially Aries, right? It's that cardinal fire, but this is cardinal earth. You have cardinal fire, cardinal earth. Fire and earth. And what is that? That's a very powerful electrical circuit of manifestation, right? Fire to earth, will to action, inspiration to implementation, above to below, heaven to earth, right? The element of fire to the element of earth. And what we have to go through, of course, is the human personality, the heart and the mind, the water, the cups, and the air, the swords, right? So we've got a lot of water, water, water. We've got air and air and air. We've got earth and earth and earth. Okay? So in order for us to successfully manifest, we have to set out on the journey. We have to go through the difficulties and balance our approach to the challenges. And we have to, we have to trust in our unconscious, really, right? I think the Ace of Pentacles underneath here is part of that unconscious or subconscious trust, right? Maybe this is a proof of presence card, right? That the Ace of Pentacles, the signs and the symbols and those gut feelings that kind of give us an experience in the outer world that, okay, Spirit's here. It's proof of presence, right? It's something that's occurring that confirms for you that you're on the right path, okay? And I think that we're on the lookout for these. We want to know that every step of the way we're looking for that kind of a confirmation from the universe that things are going in the right direction, okay? And so we're going to continue to take steps moving forward, and to me this is the understanding that we have to continue taking that step. That every step might be a step into uncertainty, a step into or a step onto unstable ground. Well, what does the 5 plus the Ace give us? It gives us the harmony. It gives us the 6. Right? So every step is it kind of feels like is a giant leap. Okay. But there's something that's occurring in your energy right now to give you that confirmation. And I think because it's an ace, and aces are typically the cards of beginning something, right? I think we're realizing too that manifestation isn't linear, that it's cyclic, right? It's slow, it's inwardly guided, and we may very often feel as if we're kind of going back to step one or square one. Okay. But we're going into the Five of Pentacles, and we're trying to do so with faith and hope and trust. Okay, and maybe that's part of our Seven of Swords. This is a card of like every step I take, it feels like something is against me. No matter how hard I try to see the path, there's like a fog in front of me, right? And maybe this means that we can't yet see the full picture. Okay, that we might be taking steps forward into challenging terrain, trying to keep our balance, right? Always being willing to take that next step without having total clarity. We may not have total clarity. Okay? Perhaps we have an energetic trust, not an external certainty. We have the wish, and we have that intuitive, unconscious kind of knowledge. Okay? But there's still uncertainty, there's still worry in the future here, future position. Okay. Sometimes the Seven of Swords is a card of distraction. It's a card of futility. It may say that, look, I have to just keep pushing forward, even if I don't really know what the next step is going to be like. I don't know what the terrain is going to be like when I set my foot down on land. I don't know what it's going to be. But I have to go forward. I have to trust in this. And we see the intuition up there with that little crescent moon. That we're trusting that the way forward is the way forward, and even though it feels like there's opposition, I don't have any kind of certainty. I'm not trying to force any answers. I'm trying to just stay. I'm trying to stay in sync with my efforts, staying in sync with my sort of my spirit. Right. The two major arcana energies, the Devil card and the Emperor, this is a lot of discipline. This is saying that we have this engine in our car, this motivation, but we have to have the discipline. We have to be able to pilot the ship, And so this is a very strong and fortified ego. Now, there's nothing wrong with ego, right? As long as the ego is informed by spirit, and that's kind of, I think, the message here. We want to make sure that this is being guided. Otherwise, this is someone who's just kind of joyriding the car, right? The ego is just having fun. It's got this powerful engine. It's just doing whatever it wants. The Emperor has to be informed by spirit. Has to be informed by that intuition, right? The higher aspirations, which I feel is really connected with our Three of Cups today. Because the Three of Cups feels like it's the potential for all of this realization. This is kind of like the deep soul yearning, right? That deep aspiration that you feel inside of you for this dream life. This is the dream come true. This is the wish fulfilled. Okay? And I think that because this is such a high-level card, this is coming from a very pure place. That you want this manifestation for the right reasons, and that's allowing you to fortify the ego and push through. You need a strong ego if you're going to go through these kinds of challenges. A weak ego will crumble under the pressure. A weak ego will say, I can't see the path ahead of me. I'm going home. Okay, so the ego is fortified by this deep aspiration, and it's willing to go through the fog of uncertainty and the unstable terrain of the next step. Okay. I feel like you've got really, really good energy here. And on the path of the Serpent, this is extraordinary. You got a double 10 of Cups. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. These readings are totally free. I feel like, again, you're doing everything for the right reasons. I think that every step of your path feels right. It doesn't always feel good, but it feels right. Okay, one of the Ten of Cups is saying that you like who you're becoming on this path, that you feel like you've got a very strong ego, that you're very energetic and robust, you're connected to spirit. You like who you're becoming, and you like the world that you're creating. Right? I feel like you're finding a richness on this path, knowing that you're doing what is right for your soul, you're doing what's right for you. This is your dream life coming true, and it's being reinforced. I think it's both internal and external. You're becoming who you're meant to be. You're creating the life that you're meant to create. And you're doing it with a lot of tenacity and bravery, really courage, because we can't see the path ahead of us. It's unstable ground and it's uncertain. We don't know the plan. We don't know the terrain. We don't know the plan. We don't have a map at all, right? But yet you're still taking each step forward. So that's extraordinary. I feel in a way you've kind of surrendered the need to control the outcome, and you're just saying, all I can do is control the next foot forward. Okay? I'm not trying to rush anything. I'm not trying to demand answers. All I can do is control the very next step I take. And from that new position, I'll stabilize, and I'll take the next step into the potential instability again. Okay? And I think you're very much focused on the emotional frequency here. Because the mind and the physical terrain are clouded and unsure and obscured, you're relying more on this water energy of the cups here to guide you. You're intuitively gauging how to move forward now because it's foggy. Because we don't know what kind of terrain it is, right? It could be slippery, right? We could sink down into it, we don't know. And we can't see. It's foggy in our vision. We're trusting our intuition as we take the steps forward, okay? Now, the next card is the fixed air energy, the Prince of Swords. We don't want to see things through a distorted lens. We don't want to be so rigid and fixed in our perception that we're sort of going forward despite like we're not trusting our intuition, right? That we're so fixed and rigid, we're saying, I don't have a map, but I know it's straight ahead. I'm going straight ahead. And it's not going to work, right? It's kind of like you're going to drive your car, you're going to hold the wheel straight and still, go straight forward. Well, the road's changing, the road's curving subtly ups and downs, and you're just going to hold straight. That's not going to work. You're going to find yourself in the ditch, right? So we've got to be flexible. We don't want to be driven by any kind of our unconscious fears or unresolved traumas. We're not trying to project our shadow onto anything or misread the situation because of fear. We got to be flexible and adaptable. Okay, so this is, it's interesting with these two air cards here. Because again, the fixed air, we have to be willing to shift and adapt and say, I'm not going to know what the right thing to do is until I take that step and I feel it out. Because I don't have a plan. I can march straight forward, but what if I'm marching right off a cliff? I've got to use my intuition, which means my intellect has to be flexible. This is double air energy, right? This is a mind that thinks it knows what to do, even when it doesn't know what to do. Okay? And that the Three of Swords is telling me there might be some unconscious kind of complexes at work here, right? Some things that might be coming to the surface that are challenging you, especially when we are talking about the ego and the need for a strong, fortified ego. Sometimes there are subtle ways that, or these unconscious complexes that can influence the ego. And we have to be aware of that, right? And this could be kind of like denial or fantasy, or we're avoiding emotions. We're not trusting in our feelings here, or we're trusting in them too much, but we're trusting in the fluctuating surface level emotions rather than digging deep and really and knowing what the intuition is saying, right? There might be some kind of a truth that we're not facing right now. We don't want to numb our intuition through these distractions. We don't want to let the cloudy distractions or the fog in front of us to prevent us from seeing what our intuition is really telling us. We don't want to repress that intuition. Okay, and sometimes with so much air energy, the air is kind of pushing down the water. Okay? And this could be saying, maybe the Three of Swords is saying that we've been taught in our lives to not trust our feelings, right? That we have to reclaim those parts of ourselves that maybe are irrational, you know, because maybe that's the way forward now, that intuitive, irrational function, rather than the intellect saying, I know what to do, I'm going to take a step forward and no matter what. And our logic is going to march us right off a cliff. But our intuition might be saying, I need to go a different way. I need to tread lightly. I need to, you know, we've got to listen to that. We've got to understand how we feel. Okay, so this is the fear and the blockage that's preventing us from really bringing out the potential of this Princess of Pentacles right now. Whatever your goals are, whatever the top of the mountain is for you. Okay. We could have some sort of some shadow work to do, right, regarding the ego, regarding some sort of internalized belief about the ego and what the ego's role should be, or about what our own power should be. There could be a fear of the unknown right here. Okay? Sometimes the shadow will arise when we try to trust our intuition and we try to move forward through the fog and the instability. The shadow will rise up and try to stop us from doing that. Okay? Sometimes the fixed air energy of the Prince of Swords is trying to label everything or fix everything or figure out the plan ahead of time, rather than just, let's go with the flow, let's trust the process, and let's go into this, you know, because this is the energy that's going to grow into the potential. This is going to become the best life. This is going to become the Ten of Pentacles or the Empress energy, right? Which may be in that mystery card. Yeah, let's take a look. I'm thinking Ten of Pentacles or Empress. Yeah. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's see. Oh, it's the Moon. Well, the Moon is your superpower card, right? This is the card that rules the sign of Pisces. And so this is the card that kind of like literally represents the unconscious. So I think it really is like us tapping into that intuition. It's about us realizing that, you know, maybe in the intellect, the rational mind may not know what it's doing. Well, we've got to find a way to move forward despite that fact. In my head, I may not see the logic. I may not know how to go forward. I don't have a plan. I don't have a map. I can't see how everything connects. Your soul does. Your intuition knows. Okay? Things may not be as they seem either, right? We're looking at this Five of Pentacles, but what if it's cloudy? What if we don't really know what this is? Things may not be as they seem, right? We need to trust our intuition over our logic. And maybe the answers for you lie in shadow work, yes, but in dreams, paying attention to your feelings, following the symbols and the synchronicities, not rational thought. Right now, rational thought is not serving us very well. Okay, I think you're on a rather unknown path. This is a doorway. This is a dark, scary doorway. It's a doorway that's just black. We can't see what's on the other side. It's the dark, scary forest. A journey is unfolding, but we don't maybe know the outcome. We're being asked to walk by the inner light. So maybe this is that dark, scary forest. We don't know what the end result of any of this is going to be. We don't know what's waiting for us at the top of the mountain. Okay, but we're trying to trust our intuition and say it feels right. It feels like the right path. I'm going to keep going. Okay, so this is a psychic awareness, a sensitivity. This is a passage through a darkness, a confusion, or a fear that may be uncertain, but it is transformative. This is a doorway. Let's do one of these divine doorway cards. A very interesting confirmation card here. Very interesting. Secret sketches. Wander and seek the familiar and friendly kind. Draw memories in sketches for others to find. So it's kind of like you're the one that's blazing the trail. You don't know, you don't have a map. No one's ever been here before. You're going through a dark, scary forest of uncertainty. Why is it uncertain? Because nobody's been there before. You're doing something innovative. You're doing something that you've never done before. You're stepping into uncertainty. So you're the one that has to blaze the trail in a way, right? And so there's the idea of kind of like sketching a map for others who are coming after you, right? It's the Sherpas that run the lines up Everest for then all the climbers on the expedition to follow up the mountain. They're the ones that are finding the route. The rest of the people just follow behind and just hold on to the rope, Just keep climbing and hold on to the rope. So this is a journey. This is a quest. This it may feel like it's a dark night of the soul. It may feel like your mind is rebelling against this, but your ego has to stay firm and correct. And maybe that's a good thing, right? A strong ego, an ego that says, I can do it. Even though the rational mind is freaking out, saying, we don't have a plan, we don't have a map, we don't even know what we're doing. Like, this is nonsense. This is irrational. Yeah. It is irrational. It's intuitive. It's creative. It's innovative. And I think it really, as long as it feels right, trust your intuition and allow this to guide you. Because you don't have a safety rope. You don't have an ace of swords that's telling you exactly what to do and when to do it. You got to trust in that inner knowing. Okay? Trust in your dreams, trust in your feelings, your intuition, trust in the synchronicities. Now we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, there's a link up top. There's a link down below. We're going to do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. New readings for Pisces on Thursdays and Sundays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. These readings are totally free. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.